Here, the biggest thing is going to be finally getting a final answer on the bid notices, which we have those ready. No, that's
I just got them. They are really.
Well, it's good you didn't wear them Saturday.
Oh,
the only thing I have.
you know, I was amazed how many people showed up.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it. I thought with the weather and everything else.
I was so, just heartfelt. It's like, these people, and they're not all from town. Half of them were from out of town. But our neighbors, anyway, it's like, man, that means something.
Something you were asking me if I wanted to go, well, that was a meeting last week.
What do you say, Jimmy?
That's a summit, yeah, you wanna go to that?
Is that this week?
No, I think Dan and Amy are gonna go with us to that,
Or what was that, what summit was it?
whatever that-
Summit from Go with.
are you,
Is it in town?
are you gonna go?
Is it during the weekday?
Paula Fold wants to go.
Next time they have the municipal thing, though, I'll go to that with you.
So I think, I don't know if Dan and Amy were gonna ask you or
6 o'clock.
happens. Okay,
Alright, I have to wait the
it's 6 o'clock, huh?
last 25 seconds there.
Oh, I'm going, it's 5:59, yeah. My
6 on my
goodness,
watch.
if we were 10 seconds too early.
Yeah.
Hi, Lane. Brian.
6 o'clock.
Okay, well, I'll talk real slow, but we'll call the meeting to order, and Tobias, if you would do roll call.
Arstead.
Here.
Fire. Here. Shoot, oh, Osby.
Here.
Quorum present.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a short little invocation. Dear Lord, thank you for good weather, good harvest, and on the day that we are honoring all our veterans, we ask that you take special care of them and watch over all our people in Crooks and all the people that watch over us and keep us safe. In your name, amen. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Approval of the meeting minutes, is it three
One.
separate approvals?
You can just do
All one?
Move to approve all three.
Second.
All those, no, motion carried. Motion approved. Did we vote?
No.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Financials and claims. Anybody have any?
The only thing I want to mention on like the budget versus actuals, like, because you have the tornado siren, we're getting closer to the end of the year. So we'll have to supplement, but that's kind of just a heads up. Same with debt service, because if we're paying the interest, but nothing surprising there.
Did they, on the siren, the line was broken?
Yeah, like the electrical line was broken
And
and,
I mean,
yeah, and the way
how
they
does that
found it,
happen?
I don't know. But how they found it out is one of the electricians got a shock too while he was doing it. Because
Oh, no kidding.
you had to do more electrical work up there than just the siren. So yeah, it was, yeah, they came out and I was surprised how extensive it was, because it was like 2,400 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, but also we're not on a maintenance contract, so that's another thing staff has been looking into is like an annual maintenance for the tornado siren.
I mean, realistically, the only,
What are they?
I mean, it's batteries.
Yeah,
You know, the battery's gotta be replaced every couple years.
so,
And that's probably been there for 25 years?
Oh, no, these are so this was the one at Palmyra. I mean, they've been there 10 years.
Well, I thought it was this one right here. No, it was.
No, it was Palmyra.
by the parks. So. Yeah.
But those two were put in at the same time.
They sure let it go for a long time after they got it working.
Let me make sure it really works.
So move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those same sign, motion carried, consent calendar items.
Check with the sheriff. They don't have any violations on all of them. Property taxes are paid up to date. So we're good to go on renewal on all of these licenses.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Open comments, anybody, I'm gonna ask Melissa to introduce herself.
My name is Melissa Schnapp. I live over here on Susquehanna. Moved to Crooks in 2021 and interested in getting more involved in the community and what's happening and what the discussions are. So just checking it out today and have a conversation.
We have, one seat open from Jana Richardson moving to Del Rapids, so Melissa would live in that same ward, so. So we got wind she was interested, so we told her to come on down. Anyway,
It's a new experience for me in leadership in a different way. So it's an interesting topic and just to see how it all works together and what kind of importance there is here.
yeah, there is more going on now as we grow. There's more, than just coming to a meeting. Anyway, can I ask, do you have a full-time job then?
Yep, I'm a nurse practitioner
Oh.
for Stanford. I work in the community, so I do home visits for high-risk patient populations, do a lot of social determinants and medical needs, and
Wow,
kind of connect them to resources in Sioux Falls and surrounding areas.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
you bet.
Yeah, I've had them come to my house at a time or two.
It is
Through my-
something we're finding a lack of now after COVID. A lot of agencies that were in person to help people are really pulling back and being there for people behind desks, which is not the same.
Yeah.
It's a huge
Do we mark, Eric present? Oh,
Yep.
Okay. Okay, anybody else have anything under open comments? Any questions? Anybody that, as far as the bids on the properties, is that advertised in the messenger?
Not yet, because
Okay.
I have to wait until next week. 22nd will be the first advertising.
In the
29th will be the second, either Messenger or Argus Leader.
messenger? Okay,
And then open house is most likely either 29th or 30th of November and December 6th with a bid award during December 9th.
so the sealed bids will be open a month from now on our regular meeting, December 9th. Okay, public hearing. Notice of public hearing pursuant to South Dakota Codified Law 11-4-4. Notice is hereby given that the Crooks City Council will hold a public hearing on November 11th regarding the amendment of the Crooks zoning regulations. Specifically, the city council will be considering adoption of amendments to chapter 18 amendments and change of zone, section 18 procedure, conditional use permits and conditional uses.
Is anyone opposed or against it?
Okay. So this goes along with the,
Yeah, so a public hearing serves as a first reading. Usually we do them separately just for
Okay.
procedural cleanliness. It's
So,
essentially,
this
P and
is,
Z recommended this at their
Yeah.
last meeting.
so this
Changes.
is one of the changes or two of the changes. When an applicant wanted to, notify, change of, zoning, we used to go out and put the sign up, but now we just give the sign to the owner of the property. They put the sign up, and then they can take a picture and send it to us.
So the request is to keep that in motion where the residents put up the sign. Is that what we're-
The petitioner. So,
Yeah, whoever is the petitioner, whoever is the landowner.
Shed or change their-
no,
are we talking residential over
we're
here?
talking everyone. So the procedure right now says that, if you've ever seen those big yellow signs by the side of the road,
Wasn't there one up over here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and what happened is essentially, the onus is on the petitioner, because right now the city has been doing it so far, and then, we're facilitating their application for them to a degree, so this is essentially, here's the sign, they get the sign, everything filled out, but they have to post it. That's also because the application fees kept very reasonably at $50, but if you add up the time and expenditure the city has, we're actually losing money on the application, which we should break even, and this is another step for this. Other cities do it this way too. Is there-
So it's pretty simple. I've done property in Sioux Falls, that's the way they do it, so.
Is anyone opposed or against it? We need to open the floor.
Oh, okay, we'll
No, you're all good.
open up the floor if there's any public comment on this, yay or nay or, whatever. We just had some from Melissa.
Oh.
But, it's chance to ask any other questions or say anything?
The process doesn't change the outcome, correct?
No. Okay, well,
I need to read the title of the ordinance. I
Okay.
assume hearing closed.
City of Crooks ordinance number 355, an ordinance of the City of Crooks, South Dakota, amending the 2023 revised Crooks zoning regulations by amending Chapter 18, amendments and change of zone section 1801 procedure, and Chapter 19 conditional use permits, conditional uses. So now we need a motion?
No, that's
Nope,
first
just,
reading.
we've got
First
it all
reading.
done.
Okay.
First reading.
Okay, now we're down to, reports and other business. And, I guess we're starting off with our city engineer, Jake, from DGR.
Good evening, all. Handful of items here, I'll just, I'm trying to go one by one. Ask questions. First of which is the pay application for the water storage project, the wire iron. That's for, what we call steel receipts, more or less, material. Back on site, February, March, back to rain, when all of that steel is all over big sheets and start going vertical.
Motion to approve pay application.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. What's the, finish date for the water tower?
The completion date on that, oh, it's fall. I don't remember.
About a year from now, or?
It was October 1st.
Okay. Okay, Heritage Park.
Yeah, so this is the final pay app and change order. During the last meeting, the figures were approved, or they, they did discuss the change order amount. This pay app and change order is reflective of those exact dollar figures. Since that meeting, we just got those documents drafted, over the contractor signed and all that, so this will officially go the books on that one. We did get all these waivers actually, today, so we're on approval of this, that project will be closed out, final payment can be made, and, provide us to work with the GFP on getting all the reimbursement piece back on the grant.
So is there a motion on the,
Move to approve the pay app.
Second.
all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Just an update on the sanitary regionalization.
Yeah, 3 and 4 kind of go together here. There hasn't been, so we haven't met as a large group, if you will, in a while, so there's not too much more information to report on in that regard. What has been taking place is number crunching, collection of information, more or less the beginning of what number 4 is, which is the sanitary sewer study. So kind of going back to when those EPA grant dollars were awarded, and this project, regionalization thought, kind of re-immersed itself, if you will. We've been working through all that. We've been talking about, and several times, getting all that into report format, getting it into a presentation, and having that deliverable in the March timeframe. The goal coming out of that is going to be more or less a recommendation and what we hope to be a clear and concise option and way forward as it relates to sewer treatment, regionalization, things of that nature, to more or less vet out all the options and know which one's in the best interest of the city of Crooks. The study piece of it, which is number 4 on there, like I said, this kind of goes back to when this all started here a handful of months ago. That'll also include collection system deficiencies, things of that nature that are more specific to the current operations and system of the Crooks infrastructure, and not just focus on what's next. So that'll kind of be an all-encompassing report of all things sanitary sewer. And then part of the end goal of that will be to have a few projects slated and be in a position to get those on the state water plan. So that way, if and when we move forward with funding, we'll be in good shape to do so. Obviously, plenty of conversation to have between now and then, but this is more or less the sewer version of the water study that we did a couple, 2-3 years ago.
And that,
Where were your demographics at for that study?
But,
Where are the demographics, what's the demographic region?
so it's kind of specific to the city of Crooks. The regionalization piece of it is relates to City of Hartford treatment plant, City of Sioux Falls treatment, and then that would be a collaboration of kind of what's considered northern Minnehaha County, mostly Crooks and Polk, and vetting out some options there for regionalization of wastewater treatment.
I was gonna say, didn't you run into a bunch of problems with their original plans and doing their?
So yeah, T and Harrisburg and Brandon have done Sioux Falls options in the past. Brandon has for a handful of years. And then, as many know, Hartford is under construction on a new treatment facility over there, I-90 and Highway 38. So they have, well, going back to when they kind of first kicked that project off, inquired about the possibility of regionalization. So what this will do is more or less, take the big thoughts and pictures and put it to real figures and numbers and decide what does make sense for the city, because it's a big decision.
it's been about a year since we were awarded the $23.6 million grant that Senator Thune helped us get. And that's to connect Colton, Tri-Valley, Lyons, and Crooks. And then where do we go? Do we go to Sioux Falls or do we go to Hartford? And so part of this whole study will help figure that out. And we've been talking back and forth on it for about a year. I've been probably working on it for 4 years, but Mike is also very involved in the discussions now. So, we have 10 years to use that money, so it's not like we're gonna put a shovel in the ground,
It goes
But-
fast.
but we want them, we just
Time
wanna
goes
make.
fast and construction gets more expensive every day.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Coach said, I mean, we've known for the better part of the year, last winter, kind of when I saw this about as far as the granules. I think everybody can say today, there's more questions than answers than there was 10 months ago, so, it's, time goes quick and the progress.
Yeah.
So what here in March, there's gonna be a recap on where we're at.
Correct, yeah, so that's the, end deliverable here, the report of the findings and,
okay, is there,
So I'll make a motion to approve the, sanitary sewer study.
second exhibit A test?
Yep.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. East side lift station.
yeah, so this one's been a slow burn, close out life, like everybody knows, we finally got all of the information we needed, punch list been satisfied, got the survey going on. So we're in a position to close that one out. Don't have anything to act on, if you will, tonight, just more of update and heads up that, next month or so, we'll have more conversation there as it relates to, most of the liquidated damages. Our intention is to just move forward with the liquidated damages, fully expecting HW is going to dispute those, so in some form or fashion, so, we'll address it as it comes, but, we're not going to willfully forgive it.
Is the final punch list done now?
It is that satisfying.
Move to approve.
We don't need to do
Or
a
we don't need to
motion
do a motion for that?
Okay. The water system improvement update.
Yeah, so this one's, these plans are in the hands of the DNR right now, wait for their final blessing, and we'll get that one out to bid. That's, as a reminder, the connection from the water tower to the distribution system, it's upsizing of some, distribution mains along West Avenue from the 7th to 5th segment there. So kind of mid-December is what we're looking at for a bid letting date, and that'll be for 2025 construction. And that's all part of the same funding package that was supported with the water tower. General update for you there, and then last item there, utility infrastructure paving. I think you guys have the exhibit.
Yeah, everybody's got
You
that
guys
up.
don't have the exhibit?
Here again, nothing to act on, this is just, informational purposes, but, this map has kind of morphed over the years. This is the latest and greatest version, if you will. Just gives you a little bit of foresight into where the next reconstruction projects will come. It's a reconstruction, that's what we call street utility, replacing old water mains and old clay sewer mains. What's shown in blue there is the phase one, which is Palmyra and obviously completed years prior. And then phase 2, 3, 4, et cetera, replace the existing infrastructure there. Generally broken out in regards to sewer wanting to be generally on the downstream side first, and then also as it relates to drainage basins and keeping storm sewer, flow paths, et cetera, within similar phases. So I mentioned part of the outcome of that sanitary study is going to be having projects slated on the state water plan for applications. That will include a project or two on this map. These projects are going to be more than just sewer, obviously. It's going to include sewer, water, drainage, streets, et cetera, but our intention is to have these included as part of that report such that we can get them on a state water plan and be in a position to request funding. I would guess, based on kind of conversations with staff and all of you in the past, we'd be looking at, the quickest scenario would be like a December 2025 funding application for a 2027 project. So that's kind of the timeline we're looking at now. Probably not realistic to consider anything too much quicker than that unless there was a burning desire to do so, but that's more or less what it's getting out to be.
Second part of that then with the phase 2, which would be 2027,
Correct.
that money that we spent could be used as a match towards a regional sewer project.
Correct, yeah. So that $23.6 million grant that Butch had mentioned for the realization, there's a 20% match with that. So any dollars spent on reconstruction projects that related to clean water, sewer, storm sewer, et cetera, could serve as that matching component to that grant dollar. So the intention, big picture, you forecast out a decade, we do a project of this nature on the reconstruction side that satisfies the city's requirements for their contribution to the sewer funds at large, and then that'll, for lack of a better word, unlock those grant funds for use towards a larger sewer treatment regionalization. Any questions on that or anything else?
So when we put that on the state water plan in 25, it can sit there for a year or two.
2 years.
2 years.
It would need to be updated again, and that's typical. It's often projects expire.
That's just getting us on their list, so when we're ready to go. Okay, kind of also ties in with this next one on North First Avenue, right on the corner by Critters and the bank. We've got some I in the coming into the sewer pipe, some outside water. And we've got a bid to fix it. But now, I guess my wonder is that all gonna be replaced in 27 when we do the project? But the vendor quote is it's $27,200 and an additional $6,400. So that could be as high as 34,000. And I guess I'm wanting our engineers to tell us, is that a waste of money? I mean, it kind of seems like it is. Go ahead.
Elias and I had this same conversation on Friday. So as Butch noted, this segment is shown in the phase 2 area. So for all intents, it would be included in a 2027 plus or minus project. Even if money is invested in these repairs, that sewer line would be replaced with that project, with or without any repairs. It's only 6-inch sewer. It doesn't meet today's standards. The repairs are going to satisfy some I&I concerns, but looking at the video, there's some sags and inconsistencies in the flow line that would require the replacement regardless. So taking that into consideration and knowing that that's 3 years away, for good reason, it's probably not worthwhile to invest that amount of money into it. A lot of problems with I&I is the extra treatment cost it takes for
What does that mean?
I&I.
Yeah.
Inflow and infiltration. So it's more or less groundwater getting into your sewer system. So if you look at this video, which you guys don't have to. It's, there's several locations where you can clearly see groundwater is coming in a joint, coming in a crack, et cetera. So as that compounds and, you know, it creates more load on your lift stations, it costs more money to treat. What ionize in this segment isn't gonna cost you $10,000 in treatment cost a year, which would, you know, basically assume that within a year, you get your money back. So that's the simple way to look at it. Kind of what Tobias and I talked about is there's, you know, 4 points in that sewer line that are worse than others. I think their quote included 8, so it, you know, maybe worthwhile to consider 4 spot repairs in lieu of the 8, and then not consider the crack repairs. So, you know, you may be looking at a $10,000 to $15,000 project at that time. That could probably be justified, just to ensure the, you know, it doesn't get worse over the course of the next 3 years. But yeah, I would tend to stray away from investing a significant amount of money there, knowing it's 3 years away from replacements and not 15 years away from replacement. Not that I want to scare you, but there's a good, you know, if we ran a sewer video down other clay lines in town, they're not going to look all that dissimilar from what that one does. I mean, that one probably on the worst end, but there's going to be other segments in town that are going to show those same signs, unfortunately.
So the 4 spot repairs, that'd be in like one strip, or it'd be like close to the bank, by the post office, and up by Critters, or where would
It would be based on,
I mean, how many holes do we gotta dig to fix 4 cracks?
it's all
They're no
non-isolation,
dig.
so they actually go in with a machine in the manhole, and then it's a lining basically, so it's not excavation.
We did it, about 4 years ago from, pumping stuff down in the sewer line. We had a lot of I mean, a lot. So we had money and we did line those pipes, and they do it from the inside, so you don't have to dig. That one was worth it. We were getting a lot of,
Yeah, and there's no other reason to rip that area up other than that sewer, so that's a great candidate for relining. This one, because it doesn't meet other standards and it's out.
Yeah.
anything? Well, let's come up with a suggestion. Are you saying to hold off and see if they get worse, or camera them, or
So,
do 4
yeah,
and not?
if you're looking for a formal recommendation, mine would be to get a revised quote for the repair of the 4, and then also a heavy cleaning of the sewer line after the repairs. Especially at the upstream end, there was pretty decent amount of blood buildup. It would be worthwhile to get that cleaned out of there for repairs and things. So that would be my recommendation, get a revised quote specific to that for.
Is that something we would call, or would you call them and ask for the?
I would probably recommend just the eyes do it.
Okay.
I certainly can. Get you out of there.
Just to clarify, when you were saying, over the 3-year period, you could pay
Thank you.
up to $3,000 repair for what is there now, or still be running for a long time. It would probably be a wash anyway, because you can keep up with that cost, and maybe under what you spend in the repairing of it, to get us to 2027.
I'm saying that it's not wise to spend $30,000 because you're not going to spend $30,000 in extra cost in that 3-year period.
Yeah.
So it would basically be, $10,000 a year in extra cost in order for that to balance. You're not going to do that. Yeah, the city's not experiencing $10,000 in extra cost for the I-9.
It's basically clean water, groundwater that's coming into the sewer line that really doesn't have to be treated, but it goes in the sewer line, goes in our lagoon, and we have had a lot of that, and we got it in other places we don't know about. We do camera. We just cameraed quite a bit this past year, I think, but, that's how you find them. But when you have old parts of town, that's why we have this phasing to do these projects. Palmyra is a good example. Everybody had a sump pump, everybody had, water we found. Anyway, I think to revise it and do as you say would be and then we just bring it up next meeting again, is that?
Yeah.
Okay,
By that time, new public works guy can take charge of this too.
okay. Okay, the equipment for the gas company and, water and sewer that we can go, GIS all our, shut-offs and
Everything.
everything. So we need, what do we need? A motion to,
Yeah, I put it back on because you guys said, see if the new public works guy knows about it. He does. So they use it down in Canton, not him, but his staff. So he was, in favor of this. So I got extended the favorable pricing on the quote. And if you guys want to go ahead, ask for a motion, or we can get all of it signed. Sorry, didn't interrupt you there.
So-
Motion to approve the.
Yeah, that we can go ahead, get it all ordered.
second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. Then we have the draft ordinance to specifically state who's responsible for what, property owner, homeowner versus city. And, do you want to further
Yeah, I mean, I think you said, explained it well. It's essentially, the city has no responsibility for any part of the service line leading to the house for water and to sewer leading from the
It
house.
was vague before, so we're,
Need to have it in black and white because the city has paid for damage to the sewer main in the excess of thousands of dollars. So this just makes it clear that if your service line
Yeah,
causes
you're
any damage,
responsible.
so this is a draft, we don't vote on it.
Nope.
And then, I guess we're down to, economic development, and, Mike kinda handles that, I help along. I had good news today that the Crooks Development Corporation got the land sold between the new light industrial park and Wintergreen Acres. They've had that land up for sale, and, they went and accepted the deal. They got their full asking price, and they're gonna close on it between now and the 1st of December. So that's good news. They can pay the farmer off. They can get a bunch of bills that haven't been paid up there paid off, and get, money back to, some money back, to winners who had paid for all the water and sewer and dirt work up there, so he'll get some of that back as CDC gets all their bills paid first. So, we're working on development out by the interstate on the 36 acres that we annexed in 3 years ago. And, we just, got some things straightened out with the developer, and he's gonna go ahead and, work with his, people that he's selling to, but there's a good chance at least 14 acres or 12 acres of that will be developed next year for a business. which will be a big help for the city of Crooks when it comes to sales tax, because it'll be a sales tax orientated business that will pull people off the interstate and provide services for the foundation park traffic. And streets, I don't know that I have anything. Eric, do you have any
Nothing
comments?
else this time.
I think what we decided, the curb fee money that we get is, that's strictly used for maintenance. We usually do slurry seals with. We don't have to spend it every year. We can let it accumulate. So we're gonna let this coming year's money, collect with the next year's money. So we will not do any slurry seal anywhere next year. And have more money to do a bigger project where we, between the city engineer and the public works director and so on, we'll figure it out. But I thought it would be a good time to hold up on slurry seal. Planning and zoning. As you know, well, Janum and Scott moved out of Crooks and went back home to Del Rapids, so, Tobias and I have been talking with, Jeff Nelson, and he would take over as chairman of the P and Z. Is already, commercial building and homeowner building inspector, so it would tie right in. And so we need a motion to change to, I guess you word it.
Oh,
Motion to appoint him.
yeah, motion to, yeah, essentially, Scott, remove Scott as chairman, PNC director, and appoint Jeff Nelson as chairman and PNC director.
That motion.
Okay.
Okay, that motion. Eric, did you second it?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carried. Alan, government buildings and IT infrastructure.
I think we'll get down to the city shop stuff, but we had the guys do some stuff there to save us some money on that. That's about it, I think.
Working on a cybersecurity
Yes,
policy,
that.
picking that one back up. That's been on the to-do list for
A little while.
year for us.
And then the bids will be
Yeah.
open next.
Yeah, we're gonna talk, I think that's gonna come up in the financing, so.
Okay. Anything else along with that?
Nope.
Okay, parks, and we've got a quote for more, and I want to clarify this with Eric, because I know we had a discussion when we were doing budget. We always had a plan every 8 years to upgrade, trade more in and upgrade. Well, when we were doing budget, I thought it was for a third, like, more. I didn't think we needed. Well, it's not. This is for the 8-year trade of the Kubota for another
We're
Kubota.
doing $1 million some garage.
Pardon?
Our finances are tight for the new city garage. I think they can wait one more year for a mower, my opinion.
Okay. We skipped 1 year
Okay.
already on the mower. But it's up to you guys.
Is it running fine?
Pardon?
I mean, the more they're working, right?
Yeah, I mean, it incurs more maintenance because of the age. So Chad, just to speak on the quote, Chad did push Pfeiffer's on, and so they're providing $14,000 worth of trade-in value for the current mower. And then, depending on if you want to go forward with it, the difference would be financed because of the very positive, revenue development for interest, but which that is your guys' decision.
How much more is it talking?
14,300 will be the outlay.
It'll be the trade difference, right?
Yep.
For a mower.
Yeah, for the
I
70,
think they can wait a year.
so it's up to you guys. I mean, if you wanna hold off for a year,
They should have a brand new building for performing the extra maintenance that's required for this year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna,
so all we need is a motion either way.
Okay. Tonight.
second,
So what was the motion?
to deny the purchase.
Okay. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. Okay, we got quotes for the city shop financing. I went over them today, but I'd rather have Tobias explain it. I think we had 3 different lending institutions.
So, 3 lending institutions, we asked them to give us their best offer, and, yeah, for 1 point, it's probably gonna be, I asked them all for the max, that was based on the, estimate that Clayton had provided for the shop. It will be lower, because we deduct out 250,000 for the down payment, and most likely an interim payment for $100,000 to get it under $1 million. That will then, once we surplus the shops, will give us the best rate. Let's start with DNB. Loan term is 20 years to amortize over 30. The fixed rate's 5.75. We have, and this is rough payments. Monthly payment of $5,689. I assume that'd be a refinancing after 20 years, balloon payment. Subject there. Then we have the hometown bank, First Interstate Bank. They have provided 5-year balloon payment, 25-year amortization schedule. Theirs comes to roughly $6,074 based on our rough amortization schedule. Once again, financing again every 5 years, which makes sense. Rates might go up or down. And then we have First National Bank, who provided multiple options. The most advantageous one would be option 1, 5-year balloon. It's all tax exempt financing, 5.56, and that would come to roughly $6,21. Sorry. They're all very competitive. All of them have advantages, disadvantages. So that is now your guys' balls in your guys' court, so to speak, on what you who you want to proceed with. The finance officer for me says go with the cheapest, with the lowest.
Yeah, is that the DNB?
No.
Which
It's
one is that?
575. The lowest would be First National Bank. But you would have to go with the 5-year balloon. Now, like I said, it's really, I mean, they're tight. The difference between First National Bank and First National Bank is 0.019.
Okay.
I'd just say, DNB has worked with the city. They're the financiers of the, Crooks Housing and Redevelopment. That's the bank in Clear Lake. So if we boil it down to First Interstate that's in town and First National in Sioux Falls, it'd just be a matter of preference, really. It's such a small difference. I would say, both banks have been good to us. First Interstate is our local bank. And, again, it's up to council.
So you're
Two
totally,
nuances here, though, to explain. First National will demand a deposit relationship.
yeah,
So that's like, so while it's competitive, there are also other steps that quite a few of the two, D&B not necessarily anymore, but First National Bank wants a deposit relationship, so it means we would have to switch some sort of account there, which I'm not a big fan of having all these accounts with these different banks, but that's just personally, that's more of a professional thing. In the end, your guys' call. Also, there is a prepayment penalty, which I did not see in the First Interstate Bank proposal. I think prepayment is one of those things that I'm not fond of. And the city has always made it its mission to retire debt aggressively and fast if it can. And I think that would be a discouraging factor for me. However, that being said, prepayment only applies 3-1. I don't think we're gonna shore up $970,000 in a matter of 3 years. It's just for you to consider. This is time sensitive. So tonight you can provide the direction with a motion, go, this order, that order, however you want to do it, but we do need to get back to bond council because we do need to also adopt a resolution that authorizes,
So D and B though, that was, I think if I remember right, that was what pretty much the terms the lawyer was recommending.
Yeah,
right?
last time. So as you see, the other thing is just with the interest rate, First National Bank says we can presumably guarantee this rate until December 31st. DNB says 30 days, if confirmed at a meeting, and then First Interstate Bank says, what is it in here? It's as of 11/08, then rate can be locked within 10 days of closing.
So that can change.
Yeah, I mean, all of these can change, right? I mean,
Yeah.
no,
So what is your highest recommendation?
that's where this is tough. They're all competitive. They all have advantages, disadvantages, right? I mean, that's if we boil it down to math, go with the best rate. Like one thing, that's why I'm asking for a specific motion, because I'd like to go back and ask them, what is the payment? Show me the payment, because none of them do, right?
Yeah.
I had to get it calculated. So that's how I would make my recommendation. And then as Mayor Osby said, there are other considerations too. We have, First Interstate Bank has been delightful to work with over the past few years. Have been very good. D&B has been good with the CHRC. First National Bank, they're nice, I've never worked with them. I just think that
I don't like they're demanding the deposits.
the deposit relationship is a very common demand, and I'm not a fan of it, just because they can withdraw from our accounts, mainly so they can get a certain, and you can always go back and say this needs to be, stripped from it. However, I don't want people to go through revising their proposals, and then I think it's fairly unprofessional at that point, because then you're just saying, because then what's the next step? Oh, look at this rate they're giving us, go match it. I mean,
I guess ask for the payments, like, can we have another meeting once we receive the payments?
yeah, and we would also have to have another meeting anyways for the resolution, which will happen here within. So, I mean, if that's the motion to,
Yeah, let's motion it to,
so to get
Make sure
payments
we-
based
yeah.
on the final loan amount of roughly estimated
yeah, and I'd like the full council here to vote on that, or
Okay.
decide that direction
Okay.
anyway.
Okay, no, that's fine.
You got a motion and a second?
Motion? I don't know.
That's the motion.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Both same signs, so we'd have a special meeting.
Yeah, because we need the resolution to,
So we kinda got one planned right before.
yeah, this would probably have to be all phone or something. I mean, there's an urgency, because otherwise, because they will have to do underwriting, and that's could take,
We still didn't get all the information from the lawyer yet, right?
we called them today, and that's, usually we would have had the resolution on here, because then we'd have had a resolution
Yeah.
with a blanket amount that we could go, and then, but we don't, and he said we could do a motion, but that seems to be
I'd
seems to
rather
be a
have
big
it
motion.
buttoned up.
Yes, I'll go get the payment terms, or how much the payment would be, and then I'll just go from there.
So time-wise, when do you think we would be, calling a meeting,
Man, I mean,
like
ideally,
next week or?
yeah, I mean, ideally, actually Wednesday morning. That way it can go to the paper that day, but that's probably too ambitious, so next week would probably be, yeah. I know we don't like, I know special meetings are an inconvenience, but I mean, this does need to get done.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the good thing is, the best part here is it's all tax exempt financing, like that's a big benefit. Remember, that put a huge stumbling block in it earlier this year. So I'll work on it with due haste.
And then the supplement for the West Nile grant fund.
Yep, you can auto supplement when you get grant funds from state, federal government, or wherever. You can auto supplement, you don't have to go through the appropriation, like a supplemental appropriation. So I'd ask for a motion to supplement this to the 4413 West Nile.
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carried. Code enforcement, animal control.
Investigating dog complaints, make sure you trim your trees. We went through town, none of the branches, they all were high enough, but some of them may have grown, so make sure you get 16 feet clearance. And then, as at every meeting, if you have a pet at home, please get it licensed. Otherwise, we will take it to the pound if it gets out.
Okay,
Why you always look at me?
I know, I just, just because a former council member said, oh, all my neighbors have pets and we don't have tags. Maybe you guys know anyone.
okay, other business, we have joined the Dakota Mainstream Board along with, I don't know, 35, 40 other towns from Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota. That would be like a Lewis and Clark line, but it would come from the Missouri and probably be somewhere along Highway 34 this way. And again, we're probably looking at 15, 20 years. I think 25 years. It took Lewis and Clark at least that long to get. So this is very early on. The one meeting I attended was just by video, and I think Tobias did too. I don't mind being on that, but whoever's got time, I think they're all going to be video meetings at this point. So, like I say, this is 20, 25 years.
How often do they have these meetings?
I guess depends on really what the items are. Right now, it's so nascent. There's more and more entities are joining, but this will, I think, long term, this will replace like real water systems. I'll say consortium purchasing. I'll probably not be the best way to describe it, but I think that's where it's going to. Is you're essentially using. Maybe it is purchasing.
More commonality of source water. The idea is to service larger regions. Beyond that, but yeah, decades away, but certainly good to have your name in the ring, especially with Crooks goes. So I've been interested about meetings. I don't know, quarterly maybe. I mean, not that it's not usually.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to,
All right, I'll do it. Put me on there.
It's a motion to appoint you as director. Who's
Sure.
the alternate?
Second.
You're the alternate?
He's the alternate.
Oh, wow.
okay, well, you guys are gonna be here longer than I am, so. The regional sewer line's gonna be way beyond me, and that's 10 years. Anyway, a motion for Alan to be director and Eric to be alternate. And did somebody second that?
He seconded it.
Okay. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Thank you, guys.
We've already got Mike doing
It's gonna be a slow go. 10 years from now, maybe, whatever, but,
Well, subcommittee membership. Yeah, I saw an email about subcommittee volunteering and work, so.
Well, I'm volunteered for this.
Okay, we got our org chart and, we need a motion to, adopt it. Is that what-
It's just an updated revised org chart where we just moved, really a lot of these departments that used to be all over the place, utilities, streets, all under public works to account for the new position for.
Motion to approve.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Renewal insurance enrollment for the, health pool of South Dakota.
Let me speak on that.
Yes.
The health pool condensed plans, so they streamlined them, they, as you can read on the letter, stop loss and all that. So rather than having 5 plan offerings like they used to, on this exhibit, they have 3. They sent us the one that most closely matches ours, which is the HPSD 1000. The dollar figure is $4 over budgeted figure per employee. The next lower plan is the HPSD 2000, which would be, the premium would be lower, and then you have the other plans, HPSD 3000, and you have the high deductible health plans. They have traditionally have had the most competitive rates for our group. We reach out regularly to other, insurance agencies, and because we are such a small group, they can, typically write plans that offer these type of benefits because it is a shared risk pool. So, there's a certain urgency to this because the decision needs to be made.
Which was the HSA one? Was that part of it or was that?
No, there's no HSA.
Okay.
HSA would have to be done privately, and then the implementation of a high deductible health plan and explaining it to employees at this point is probably difficult, just because
Which one mirrors the one we have the most?
it's actually would be between the 1,000 and 2,000, so I kind of decide which. The difference between those two is, well, the deductible and the max out of pocket. All the other stuff is the same. Well, I guess the copay.
But it costs the city, what, $500 more a year, basically, than budgeted?
Yeah, I mean, the current plan is for 5 employees, that's $20 a month. You have 500 a year, so just want to go with the 1,000.
Yeah.
Yep, that is currently.
I would
what we
go with
have.
what they currently.
Okay. Can I get a motion, because I need to sign that stuff.
A motion to go with the closest to the current.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Melissa, I'm putting you on the spot now. Because the next thing on here, it says appointment alderman and oath of office. Do you want to wait or do you want to?
I think I want to keep it pending. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Had it all ready for you, too.
I'm until April, right? Like I was up there till April. Okay.
Yeah, we just,
Okay, I'm for it.
All right.
Okay, well, wonderful. Make a recommendation.
okay, well, I make a motion to appoint, Melissa Schrum as alderman for Ward
One.
1.
Yeah. Who makes the motion?
Oh,
Motion.
Phrase the motion for them.
You have to say.
Oh, second.
all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, next.
And we'll swear you in, but you're only on till April.
Yeah.
But if you decide you want to go further than in February, you'd have to get a petition. So, it's just that's the way both these guys did it the same way. They got appointed and then decided to stick with it, so.
Because no one runs.
That's right.
Okay, let's take the oath of office.
Yeah,
Please, you gotta
Ready?
Read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta read it and sign. I hope I didn't misspell anything.
Read out loud, or-
Yep.
Okay. I, Melissa Schrum, have been appointed to the office of Alderman Ward 1 of the City of Crooks, South Dakota. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform all the duties of my said office of the Alderman of City of Crooks, South Dakota, as provided by law. Further, I will render a true account of all money, credit accounts, and property of any kind that may come into the possession while performing my duties.
Please sign here. And then,
It's the 11th of the 11th of the
Yep.
24th.
And, so you can have a seat down there,
No.
finish the meeting.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome. The only thing when we're not in a meeting, you can talk to, there's 4 aldermen, so you can talk to up to 2 at the same time?
No.
or
No, one.
One. When we're not meeting.
I can talk to one person when I'm not meeting one-on-one, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, if we're together, I mean, you can't just. as far
Because
as
you
city
can't
goes,
have a quorum
you just have to be
or considered a
careful of that.
quorum. Or is
I
it, would it
guess
be 2?
Okay, if you like would surreptitiously be at a place where 2 other people show, you can talk to them, just don't talk official business.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that would be the only thing.
Or if
Or
you-
if you do, don't tell us.
Or if you email, just email Tobias and one of us, or, just avoid the,
You didn't know this was gonna happen today, did you?
The best you can.
okay, now we have, ordinances, resolutions, and resolution 2024-29 would be the updated water and sewer connection fees, which is when a new house or a new building hooks up to water and sewer. It's a one-time charge. And so if it's, charges are on the sheet, if it's 5/8 meter, it's 2,850. I think the old standard is 2,500 for
Yeah.
both. So what we're doing is we looked at other towns, and specifically with this regionalization sewer, and what the town would get charged in the future. They charge, like Sioux Falls, and I think Hartford will come back with the same thing. They charge by the water meter size for your sewer. So if we have 500 5/8 water meters, they're gonna charge us $28.50 a water meter. If we have 10 1-inch meters, they're gonna charge us $6,500. So we're trying to match what we'll pay in the future rather than be way behind the gun. Right? Am I close?
Dead on the money. Mike did have a amendment that's,
Okay.
stable, and it's essentially, and I had a change too, 2 actually. So the first, amendment, or the amendment, first change would entail that the fees revised, the 1-inch fee from 6,500 to 3,000. Just because the discussion on the 1-inch was essentially, folks will ask for a 1-inch meter, but then it's like used for sprinkler systems. It's not really used for commercial purposes, so the wastewater is not necessarily produced. The other amendment is the section 3 effective year. The baseline year is supposed to be 2025. I had discussions with Mayor Osby and Mike on that one. They were involved in this. So rather than passing it then in 20 days, it goes into effect. It gives us a clean start date. And then also the removal of the be it furthermore resolved, that resolution number 2021-19. Mainly, I would recommend removing this because if this is left in here, and this resolution goes into effect, the fees will go in effect in January 2021. However, we would have no fees for an interim period.
So you need a motion to approve with the amendments?
Yeah.
Motion to approve with the amendments.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. more or less keeping up with the Joneses. Anyway, resolution 24-30. And if you, there's also a map on the back page of it, but it's a resolution of the city of Crooks to approving a boundary agreement between the city of Crooks and the Minnehaha County Water Corporation. And, if you look on the back, on the map, shows you what, so it's just what the future may bring. We're just trying to keep, Minnehaha Water Corporation advised of where we think our growth is or in the future.
Was that the,
That's for like buying out water services.
oh, gotcha.
What it does, it
Yeah.
gives the city the option to
Buy out a
buy
service.
out an existing rural water customer at that price, when and if the city has facilities, water facilities to say that.
Okay.
MCWC has this agreement with several other
Yeah,
communities.
Garrettson,
Gotcha.
Hartford.
Move to approve.
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. The discretionary formula, I'll read, resolution 2024-31. A resolution clarifying discretionary formula designation for reduced taxation for certain new structures and additions within the city of Crooks. And we already have this, resolution we adopted 2 or 3 years ago. But the county has one, all we're gonna do is follow the counties. We're gonna be, zero assessed the first year, 20%, 40, 60, 80, and 100. What were we doing, 25? So
0, 25, 20.
so all we're doing is falling in line with the county so they don't have to do extra math.